Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets and the Giants tomorrow. What to watch, what you need to know, the latest from training camp. Jets reporter Nick Faria will join us. Buy your tickets to our watch party at T Squared tomorrow. We still have tickets left. It's the Jake Asman Show on a Football Friday. Let's hit it and get it started.
You keep the f*** out.
There's a number of things that I think about every morning that get me excited about being a part of this job. And plus, I just love what the hell I do. I have to address that. Between me and them, that's all you need to know. Every day, I'm living my dream. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Football Friday, game day eve, watch party eve. Tickets are available for our Jets-Giants watch party tomorrow at T Squared Social. Go now, because at the end of the day, the prices increase, and you cannot buy a ticket at the door if you want everything that's included with the watch party tomorrow. We'll have the speakers on in the entire place, the Jets and the Giants on all the TVs. It is going to be an awesome, awesome night, and I look forward to hanging out and partying with all the Asmaniacs that will be in attendance. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Football Friday. A lot to talk about with the Jets. As always, the Jake Asman Show is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Jets, Giants tomorrow. Jets, 3.5-point underdogs in the game. So if you believe in AG in this team, you can take the Jets and find good value over at FanDuel Sportsbook. With that said, let's say hello right now in his weekly spot, and he joins us for the first time since he was double bountied off the show last week, Nick Faria from Jets X Factor. Hello, Nick.
How's everything going?
You know, people have already started to go after you in the comments. Rick Kent wrote, can't wait to see what awful take Nick Faria has today. You better deliver on some bad takes, Nick.
I'm sure I'll have a couple that people will be upset about. Don't worry. I got a lot in the chamber.
So you were at the joint practice at the Giants facility on Thursday or Wednesday, excuse me. Share your observations from what you saw, and then we'll talk more about this game coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear a Giants win. If you were to sort of judge winning and losing on joint practice, I know a lot of people are doing that now. I thought the Giants won handily, and really it comes down to the offensive line. The Giants' defensive line was fantastic. They completely dominated every stretch of every drill, every stretch. Justin Fields didn't really have a lot of time to throw, and when he did, you could tell that he was waiting to see where the pressure would be coming from. So it was a pretty clear loss from the offensive line in totality. I think there were obviously some positives. I thought Olu Fashanu got better throughout the day. I thought Joe Tippin played relatively well, but AVT got beat. Membu got beat. Josh Myers got beat. Simpson, even Olu at different times. So I think overall, collectively, it was a bad look for the offensive line. It's just a matter of, okay, is this something that we need to be concerned about moving forward? Most definitely not. What happens in joint practice is not a guarantee of what's going to happen in the regular season.
When it comes to the offensive line, you mentioned Olu got better. What was the situation with the O-line? Why do you think they lost the day?
Well, it's because this Giants offensive line, in my opinion, is going to be the best in football. And I don't think there's a single defensive line out there that is going to have the kind of wave and the kind of star power that this group has. I mean, you look right now, Dexter Lawrence, he's an all-pro caliber player. You cannot block Dexter Lawrence one-on-one. You just can't. And in those kinds of drills, they had to actually do that. It would be one-on-one. It'd be Josh Myers or AVT against Dexter Lawrence. And even a player as good as AVT is going to lose that matchup. It's just how good Lawrence is at this point. And then, of course, the tackles, you're going up against three waves of players. Brian Burns, who's a Pro Bowl player. Kayvon Thibodeau, who I thought was the weakest of the three, but was talking more than any of the others, and then Abdul Carter, which right now the sky is the limit for this kid. He looks the part as a top unstoppable force right now, and a surefire win for the Giants with the third overall pick. So it to me, and again, I want to preface this by saying this does not mean that the Jets offensive line is going to look bad this year. It just means that this Giants defensive line, in my opinion, quite frankly, is going to be a lot better than people think.
You mentioned Fields. Now, I read that the running game was effective both days, especially when Fields had design plays where he just took off and used his legs. What did you see from Fields, and then specifically get into the rushing attack, which still was able to run the ball even against that Giants defensive line?
Yeah, and I think that's where, if you're looking at the problems the Giants are going to have, is that teams are just going to not pass the ball because they're not going to want to worry about that. They're going to try to run it, and they're going to try to run it whenever Dexter Lawrence isn't on the field, because there were times throughout these practices when Lawrence wasn't on the field where the Jets would bust off huge gains. One particular play, there was a zone read Justin Fields took off. Quite frankly, I thought he would have scored a touchdown in a regular game. And Justin Fields as a runner, and we kind of talked about this as well with different reporters, the Jets are never going to look dominant in practices like this, because what they do well on offense is not going to really be able to be replicated in a practice setting. You can't hit the quarterback, but Justin Fields is a physical runner. He is a really good runner, very smart with the football, with the ball in his hands. So when you add that to an offensive skill point, you're not really going to see how good they can be in a practice situation like this. You saw little bits and pieces of it with Justin Fields running, but quite frankly, I think it's one of those things where this team should not worry about anything at this point, particularly from two joint practices against a really good defensive line, because you can't really judge it because the Jets are throwing the ball a lot more than they're going to in some of these practice settings.
Nick Faria, Jets beat reporter for JetsXFactor.com, is our guest in his weekly spot. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Make sure you support the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And another reminder that our watch party for the Jets and the Giants is tomorrow night at T-Squared Social. So, Nick, Aaron Glenn, when he spoke after the joint practice you were at on Wednesday, was asked, hey, what is the plan for the Jets starters tomorrow night? This was AG on Wednesday.
What's the plan for Saturday, AG, in terms of starters?
The plan is the plan. That's the plan. Next question.
The plan is the plan. So what is the plan in your opinion, Nick? Because AG won't tell us.
Yeah, so if you asked me last week, my first inkling is, okay, well, he's not going to play the starters if they have joint practices. Normally, when you have joint practices, you play well. You don't have to worry about playing the starters at all during the preseason game. That happens a lot throughout the NFL. Because they lost the day, kind of got beat on the day on Wednesday, I put in quotes, maybe he goes and says, listen, we're going to play the starters for another series or two. We're going to give them a quarter, whatever it is. The second preseason game is being treated a lot like the third preseason game, where there used to be 4 games a few years back. So it's just a matter of what's going to come down and how are they going to judge the last few joint practices with the Giants. This defense is banged up. You're probably not going to see Sauce Gardner. I'd be surprised if you see Quinnen Williams. You definitely won't see Jermaine Johnson. And when you have all of those starters on defense not playing, it would make a lot of sense to sit those guys. But on the offensive end, the offensive line got beat a lot. The offense in general didn't really look good. It's just a matter, the question is, how much are they going to hold stock in these joint practices? Some teams look at it and say, well, we consider that even more important than the preseason, so they'll sit their starters during this game. Others will say, well, we got beat handedly, so we're going to play our starters. It really just comes down to what the mindset is for Glenn, probably when he wakes up Saturday morning.
I think they're going to play about a quarter. That's been my feeling throughout the week.
Wouldn't shock me, especially after joint work. The fact that they got beat like that would not surprise me, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they say the offense will play, the defense won't, because there's a lot of injuries right now on that group.
Well, a couple guys that I don't think have any chance of playing is Quinnen, Jermaine Johnson. I don't think they should play Sauce. If he's got calf soreness, let him rest up. Like, I think there's some guys that, you know, even if they could play if it was a regular season game, you're not putting them out there in a preseason game.
No. And again, they will exactly. If this was week 1, all of them are playing. It's just there's no reason to put them out there if they're still recovering from a certain injury.
Tony writes in, just to clarify, are you saying the Jets lost the day overall, Nick, or just the Jets offense lost today? What about the Jets defense?
Yeah, so this is a good question. The way the Giants structured their practice on Wednesday is that the two groups obviously practice on two different fields. Reporters that were watching the Jets offense only really got to watch the Jets offense. Reporters that were watching the Giants offense were on a completely different side, a completely different field. So we didn't really get a good gauge. However, I will say, from the people that I've spoken to, most people say the Giants offense looked a lot better than the Jets defense because Sauce didn't play. They had a couple of touchdowns. Russell Wilson looked good. Jackson Dart looked good. All those things had to be taken into account. So it didn't really seem like the Jets were even in a slot to say they could have caused a draw in that practice particularly. It just, defense got beat. The offense got beat. It was just a day that they lost overall.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a football Friday, and that means the giveaways on the show are better than ever. How about a signed Kevin Mawai Hall of Fame signature jersey for the top prize in our daily raffle at the end of the stream? Shout out to one of the all-time greats, one of the best centers ever, and a guy joining me on the Gangrene Legends cruise. Oh, by the way, Kevin Mawai signed jersey. That's the prize. Monday's raffle features a signed Darrelle Revis jersey, signed Nick Mangold jersey, and a signed Wayne Corbett helmet. So if you don't win the Mawai jersey, you're automatically qualified to win any of the weekly prizes in our Asmaniac raffle. But this is a sick giveaway. So gift a membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher to qualify. And a huge shout out to J-Boy, who's rocking the Braylon Allen profile picture for being the first person to enter today's Asmaniac raffle. While we're talking about centers here, Nick, what did you make of the Joe Tippmann and Josh Myers rotation during these joint practices? To me, I'd be shocked if Tippmann's not the starting center, but clearly they want Myers to be comfortable there because if there's an injury to either of the guards, we've already seen Joe Tippmann will slide over and play either right or left guard.
Yes, and that will definitely be what happens if AVT or Simpson go down again. But this is really, it's really perplexing, at least to this point. They've got a few more practices before the end of training camp, and then they're getting ready for the regular season. You would think that in a position battle, you would want to make a decision right now already. So that way you have more time for a young offensive line like this to gel. That isn't what's happening. Josh Myers was easily the worst of the starting five in their preseason game against the Green Bay Packers. People I talked to, we all kind of sat there and agreed. The center competition was over on that day because it just Tippmann was a lot better. He played well against Green Bay. Myers did not move forward with Tippmann as a starting center. But then you see this week that they were splitting reps again. So maybe that is because they wanted to do right by Josh Myers and give him a full chance to compete for the starting job. Maybe that was part of the agreement of him coming to join the Jets in the first place. Maybe it's just, quite frankly, they want to have Tippmann be available for all these different spots. But at the end of the day, we're now getting to the point where you want to see every starter on the field working together. And the longer this goes on, the more confusing it is because on the practice field in preseason action, it has been very, very clear that Joe Tippmann is the better player and should win the starting job.
I still think he's going to.
I agree, but if that's the case, then just put him in the starting. Like, you don't have to keep switching and rotating this stuff around. If you're going to do it, and we all feel like that's what's going to happen, what are you waiting for?
Let's see who the starting center is with the team tomorrow. I think it will be Tippmann.
I most likely probably because he wasn't the starter at center last week because obviously he was replacing John Simpson. We will know more obviously tomorrow when they take the field for warmups.
Nick Faria is with us. We're talking all things Jets. If you missed it, we just announced it a couple minutes ago. For those of you who just joined, a signed Hall of Fame signature Kevin Mawai jersey is today's daily raffle prize on a football Friday. Nick, as far as this game tomorrow, what are you personally the most excited to check out in person and watch?
Well, as the leader of the Nick Faria fan club and Nick Faria guy TM trademark, Arian Smith was really the only bright spot consistently in this receiving room outside of Garrett Wilson throughout training camp. I want to see what he looks like in another game setting, particularly at MetLife Stadium. The speed's there. The hands are much better than people realize. And his route running is a lot better than I think people gave him credit for out in Georgia. He's a player that I'm really excited to see. How about Tufele as well? Tufele, however you want to pronounce it.
Could someone tell me how to actually say it? Because I've heard a million different pronunciations for the guy's name, and he's Aaron Donald, so I want to know how to say his name.
Flip a coin, whatever. But he's been unblockable the last few weeks, and it really has been one of the joys to watch really along the defensive line, because I thought originally at the start of training camp, Byron Cowart was the guy, the number 2 guy that's going to play alongside Quinn Williams, and it would make a lot of sense. But the more this guy plays, the more this guy makes plays, you're going to have no choice but to play him next to Quinn Williams. He's been unblockable, and it really has been fun to watch. He's a player that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see this young cornerback room work in the preseason game as well. Obviously, a lot of rookies have been hurt, but they will most likely get some playing time as well. So I think the young players, Tufele and Arian Smith, are just a few of the guys that I'm very excited to see.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Jedaholic joins the raffle for 2 with this $10 super chat. He writes in, Nick's one of the best guests, realistic and fair reporter. Compared to last season, does the Jets team look better at practice last preseason? Go Jets. Can't wait to be at Jet Life week 1.
So this is an interesting question. I will say, and I will be fair and say, they look worse than they did last year. However, as I said a little bit before, you're not going to get a gauge. This is not going to be a team that I think practices well. And they can still be competitive. They can still be very good, because the offensive game plan is going to be predicated on running the ball and getting Justin Fields out of the pocket and allowing him to make plays. That lack of structure in a regular game is not going to be there in practice. You always want to have a structured practice. So I don't think that they've been better than they were last year. I think the expectations were just through the roof last year, and they just crumbled within themselves going in. But I think they've been a little bit worse, but that's also not a bad thing, and that's not indicative of this team being worse off going into the regular season.
Tony writes in, what about Donovan Edwards? What are the odds he makes the team? I think he's a player to watch in this game tomorrow.
Yeah, and listen, he's been so good. He really has been so good. He played great against Green Bay. The offensive line was opening up huge holes for him, and he was able to bust out long runs. All of that is great. You look at the math, and I don't see a spot on the final roster. And just think about this. Right now, we have to think that there are 3 no-brainers that are going to stay on the roster at the running back room. Isaiah Davis, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen. You have to think that Andrew Beck is going to stay on the roster, as well as that fullback, H-back type. So that's 4 runners, 4 fullback, halfback, hybrid type of things. If you keep a 5th, you could keep Donovan Edwards, or you can keep Kenny Nagwanu. Now, Nagwanu has the return ability that could make hit something interesting for them. He's an all-pro player, former all-pro player at the return game. That argument is there for him outside of just Donovan Edwards looking really, really good in the preseason. He's the kind of player that I look at and say he's a great practice squad player and a great preseason player. But if you have a deep running back room like the Jets have, there just isn't any room for them at this point. So I think eventually he will get cut, but he could be picked up right away from another team that may need a running back more.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Nick, which players beyond the player we just talked about, Donovan Edwards there, has the most to gain with a big performance against the Giants tomorrow?
Well, I think Malachi Corley's at the top of the list. A big performance from him. The Jets are looking for any excuse to keep him on the roster, because from a financial standpoint, I know they're not paying him a lot, and these rookies on rookie deals outside of the second round, they're really pennies on the dollar, but you never want to cut a 3rd round pick just a year removed from his rookie season, just 1 year in this league. So if Corley is able to show anything on special teams, receiving, blocking, whatever it is, they will take that and they will run with that and say, okay, we have some potential here. We want to keep him around and see what they have. He just needs to show an inkling of NFL talent, of NFL skill set. And I think the Jets will use that as an excuse to keep him. You look on the other side, you look at the defensive line. Leonard Taylor needs another big game. Obviously, the defensive tackle position has looked pretty solid despite all the injuries, but he needs a big game. Marcelino McCrary-Ball is another one. Originally, he was penciled in as the starting 3rd linebacker on this defense, but he was outplayed by Jamin Davis, and he made a very bad penalty against Green Bay. He's another player that needs to step up and perform well. And then, of course, probably the last one is A.Z. Thomas. has not had the kind of training camp a lot of people expected. The speed isn't there. The physicality has been sort of missing at different times. If he can come through and play well on Saturday, I think that would go a long way for him. But at this point, I know a lot of people were wondering if Thomas was going to eventually replace Brandon Stevens during the regular season. That's not going to happen. Stevens has played really, really well, and Thomas is still struggling trying to figure out a spot to get in.
Do you think Mason Taylor makes his preseason debut tomorrow?
That's a good question. I think they will try to get him on the field, but also it's one of those things where if his ankle isn't 100%, there is absolutely no reason to put him out there. There isn't. And quite frankly, with an ankle sprain, do you want to sit there and have him play in the preseason just so fans can get excited in the regular season, or do you want him 100% and ready to go for the start of the regular season?
I mean, he looks healthy, though. He was great in the joint practices.
Absolutely. No one's denying that. But those are also practice reps. So there could very well be a situation where they say, okay, you've been practicing for a few days. We've had some physical practices. We still want you at 100%. So let's keep you off the field in a game setting, at least for now. That could certainly happen. But if all the starters are going to play on offense, they really could just say, hey, listen, let's see what you got, kid, for a series and a half. That could also happen, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jess has gifted 5 channel memberships. She's playing to win a signed Kevin Mawai jersey.
Hello? You play to win the game.
That's right. Jess, you're in. Good luck. You got a chance to win this jersey signed by the Jets Great Center at the end of the stream. Mickey with a super chat. Mickey, you're in the raffle for 2. Kevin Mawai, one of the most underrated Jets. Give me your most underrated Jets on the roster now. Mine is Michael Carter. Also, get me in the raffle. Love the show. Mickey, you are in. Thank you for supporting the show. I truly appreciate it. Michael Carter, I think, is a great choice for most underrated Jets. I'll give you another name. Jamien Sherwood is still underrated. I don't care if they paid him. We're talking about Quincy and Quinnen. And Jamien Sherwood is as good as any player on this defense. He's awesome.
Probably going to be a little bit better than Quincy Williams by the end of the season, too. He's younger. I think he's a little bit more in control. I think at times Quincy Williams, his speed gets him in hard and difficult situations that he's unable to recover from. He's just a great linebacker, man. When I first jumped on the beat, the first thing that stuck out to me was the fact that Sherwood looked as good as he did, and he was continuing to grow in that process. And quite frankly, he's only getting better. 25, 26 years old, just having a long-term deal.
He hasn't been a linebacker that long. People forget he was a converted safety. So, he's still kind of learning the position. You're
looking at a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber player at this position at a really good price and at a really fair price. Quite frankly, by the end of the year, I am a firm believer that Quincy Williams will not be on the team in 2026 because you're not going to pay 2 linebackers over $10 million a year. And Quincy's going to want that. So they made their decision. The Jets made the decision. They trust Jamien Sherwood and his future a little bit more than Quincy Williams. And quite frankly, it was the right move because Jamien Sherwood continues to show that he is a star in the making on defense.
Dylan says, feels like Donovan Edwards is Bam Knight 2.0.
Yeah, there's so many different running backs. Danny Woodhead's another one that I always looked at.
But he was actually good, though.
Yeah, but Donovan Edwards could be good, too. We have no idea.
Right.
But it's one of those things where it's like, listen, you're in a really good running back room, and there's not a spot for you here. But there could be, and there will be on a different team.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Make sure you guys purchase your watch party ticket tomorrow night if you haven't done so already. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Today, we're presented by my friends at Mando. Mando's going to make it possible for you to not stink. And believe me, I don't want to name any names, but I know plenty of Asmaniacs that I've met in person that could use some Mando deodorant. So I'm going to make it easy for everyone out there. 20% off site-wide and free shipping when you use the promo code Asman at shopmando.com. I highly recommend the Invisible Spray Bourbon Leather Whole Body Spray Deodorant, or if you're an old school deodorant fan, how about a little whole body deodorant, the stick deodorant from Mando. I've been using Mando for well over a year now. That's why when you meet me in person tomorrow, I won't stink. The Jets might stink this year. I can't promise you that, but I can promise you if you meet me at any event this year or game, I'm personally not going to stink, and that's because I use Mando deodorant. So check it out. They got something for everyone. Sprays. They have the body washes. It's great. 72 hours odor control. Thank you to Mando for sponsoring the show. And once again, they got a promo all month long here. 20% off site-wide and free shipping when you use promo code Asman at your checkout at shopmando.com. Thank you to Mando for sponsoring our show. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. We'll get to some of your calls coming up here. Nick, as far as the quarterback rotation, I want to get into some news that broke yesterday. They didn't sign either of these players, but they did work out C.J. Beathard and Nathan Peterman, 2 veteran QBs. We know Tyrod Taylor's not going to play in the preseason. Aaron Glenn saying they think he'll be ready for week 1. What's your take on what the working out of these 2 veterans means?
It just means that they want to make sure they have someone, if Taylor isn't ready to go, that they can trust in their particular system to run the ball effectively, control the pace, control everything else moving forward. And I think there's a lesson here with Tyrod Taylor that I think is very important that the Jets and other teams need to learn. On paper, Tyrod Taylor is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. There's no denying that. He's got plenty of starting experience. He's helped lead a team to the playoffs. You look what he did in Buffalo. All those things have to be taken into account. He's as good of a backup as people can want for him. But he's also older, and he also has a history of injuries as well. So you want to be careful if you are trusting a backup quarterback to sort of be that stabilizing force for a team, he needs to be able to be healthy enough to hit the field. And that's one of those concerns. That's one of the worries. Remember a couple of years ago with the Giants, really good backup, but he got hurt a couple of times. And that really kind of forced him into Tommy DeVito, which ended up working at the time, but that's besides the point. So it's just one of those things. You have to be careful. You have to make sure the backup quarterbacks are durable. They're healthy enough. They're 100% ready to go. Does this mean that they're going to sign one of these guys? Only if Taylor is not going to be ready early on in the regular season. But Justin Fields has never played a full 17-game season as a starter. The chances are that the statistics show that it's likely he will miss at least a game or 2. You better make sure you have a good backup ready to go. If Taylor's not ready, then you're going to have to work out a quarterback, get them in the mix, get them working with some of these guys so that way they have something to build off of once the regular season starts. It's very important. Doesn't surprise me at all that they worked out these 2 guys.
What are your thoughts on the plan for Jermaine Johnson? Does he appear in a preseason game, or is the first time we see him out there week 1?
Yeah, it's 100% going to be week 1. Makes no sense to put him out there on the field without a full slate of practices, without going through every single rep and making sure that he can play in team drills first, let alone the preseason. He's not there yet. He's not going to be. He was never going to be ready for team drills at this week, at this juncture. The preparation is to get him ready to play a little bit in week 1. I've been saying now for months, it made no sense for Jermaine Johnson. It makes no sense for Jet fans to expect Jermaine Johnson to be the Pro Bowl caliber player he was before his injury. This is going to be a process. This is going to be an incremental process where he's going to get a little bit better every single week. And the fan base has to be patient with that. If that means he doesn't play a preseason game, so be it. If that means he starts a little slow during the regular season, so be it. This is not an injury to play lightly with. This recovery time takes a little bit. It's very important for Jermaine Johnson, the Jets, and the fan base to understand that at that point, they have to be patient with him.
What are your thoughts on the Breece Hall discourse that has seemingly picked up some steam this week?
I don't see, they're not going to trade him at this point. They're just not. It doesn't make any sense to trade him because if you want to have a by committee approach, you want to make sure you have a guy that is consistently good catching the football. And Breece Hall is probably, as of right now, your second best receiver, just in general. Mason Taylor, really good, but a rookie still growing. Arian Smith, same thing. The most reliable pass catcher outside of Garrett Wilson at this point is Breece Hall. And quite frankly, there's no reason to trade him at this point. Now, once the trade deadline comes around, if this team is 1-6 or 2-5 and clearly not going to the playoffs, could I see a trade happen? Absolutely. Absolutely that could happen. So it really just comes down to where the Jets are at the trade deadline. If they're hovering around 500, they're not going to trade him. They're going to try and see what they can do and get to the postseason. Anything less, and yeah, he could very well be a trade candidate. But right now, absolutely not. There's no reason to trade him yet.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. I posted the call-in link. It is the pinned comment, so check it out and click that if you want to join the show and ask a question or give your take to Nick and I. Reminder for those of you tuning in late, we got almost 400 people in here live. Pretty sick giveaway on a Football Friday. Signed Hall of Fame signature jersey by Kevin Mawai, number 68 in the Ring of Honor for your New York Jets. If you don't win that, weekly raffle prizes you're automatically entered for include a signed Revis jersey, signed Mango jersey, and a signed Wayne Corbett helmet. Let's get to your calls now on the Gus Buster Umbrella Hotline. And batting leadoff today is the great Kyle Clifton.
Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Jake. How are you?
Too hot to be outside, Kyle. Well done.
Huh. It's work. That's all. That's the only reason I'm in here. So, Nick, just to clarify, some of the people that we also didn't see at the East Rutherford practices, was Simpson out there?
Yes, he was.
He was out there. Okay.
Yep.
But no Quinnen, right? Street clothes?
Yeah, I didn't see. Again, we were on the other side, so it was hard to see which defensive players played. From what I heard, he did not play.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just I don't want the fan base to take too much stock into what we're seeing in these practices. It's just there's too many players that are taking maintenance days or coming off injury or like JJ or what have you. We know the Giants D line is going to be good. We don't know how their back end is going to hold up. You look at their offense, and there are several question marks beyond Neighbors.
I like Tracy. I think Tracy can be good.
I like Tracy too. Their running back room isn't bad. It's not quite ours, but they have a young tight end in Johnson that needs to take a step. A lot of people like Cam Scatterbo because of his college career. I don't know if that's going to translate. We're going to see. But this will be a good test for us with their defensive line on Saturday. He's Kayvon Thibodeau isn't winning many adherents out there. But
he was the worst of the entire group. So that's what I found funny about the whole thing. He was the one talking when he was actually the one that would get stonewalled more than not.
But just the same, he's not a bad player. Like,
no.
A lot of people are saying, well, he's trash. Well, he's trash compared to the other guys, right? Like,
yeah,
he still had 35 pressures 2 years ago, and I think it was 11 and a half sacks or something like that. So he's averaged seven sacks a year since he's been in the league. He just might be a little disappointing as far as consistency and his draft position. And now he's totally going to be overshadowed when it comes to the other guys, right?
May not be on the team next year, plain and simple.
Right.
May not be on the team in 2026.
Right. So, when we have these guys, and I'll be interested to see if we have the starters out there at their natural positions, a la Titman, a la Simpson. Do you have any sense about whether Simpson's going to play in this game or not?
Again, Aaron Glenn's not giving anything to anybody, quite frankly.
Okay.
So we're going to find out when they're in warmups, essentially, and go from there.
And we don't know exactly yet how good Membo is going to be. We know he's not there yet, but in November, I mean, you might be talking about a top 10 right tackle in the league.
And also, Kyle, to that point, he'll probably struggle early in the regular season. He probably, just objectively, he probably will struggle. He'll probably be the worst of the five. But as he grows, as he gets better and learns the game and learns the speed, he's going to be an asset for this team because you're seeing the raw potential that they have with him.
And the thing that the Jets fans should take away from these practices is that Olu is a monster.
Yeah, so good.
He might be the best player on the offense already.
I don't think he's there yet. I still think it's Garrett, and I also think that AVT is probably the best of the offensive line. But if you have an all-pro guard and an all-pro tackle, group's going to be pretty good this year.
I appreciate your time, guys. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kyle Clifton. Good call from Kyle. Open phone lines for anyone else who wants in. It just seems like Olu's had a great camp. I keep hearing about it from everyone. They've run the ball really well. It seems like he's improved in that department as well. I'm very encouraged by the O-line overall.
you need a tackle if you want to be successful in the NFL, and having a left tackle as good as Olu has been can certainly change the dynamic of an offense. And quite frankly, he has been off the charts. He was really good his rookie year when he was allowed to play. Really good to start this year. I know a lot of people were upset that they didn't take Brock Bowers, but Olu Fashanu certainly looks like a player that is telling the fan base, you were wrong to worry about if the team drafted a tight end or not when I was there.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to right now more of your calls. Hello, Beast.
Now look at that, my friends. Fresh San Marzano tomatoes, fresh San Marzano peppers, and cocktail
And
tomatoes.
what?
Cocktail tomatoes.
Oh,
Very fresh. Let me just say this. If you're going to use this on a sandwich, I'm going to say it just like the guy from Giovanni once said.
hey, can you put your light on? It's very dark in your attic.
If you're using these tomatoes, you better bring everything out. And remember, get fresh mozzarella. If you want fresh mozzarella, you better make sure it bleeds milk, because if it doesn't bleed milk, send it back. Capiche? Okay, we got that ready.
Hey,
Tomorrow.
Beast, Nick doesn't think that you have it in you to show a pass rush move on the bed.
You Richie, Nicky. Bad move on your hand, buddy.
Why don't you show him?
Kid,
First, you got to move your mic that's not even plugged in.
time out 1 minute. I just went to Dollar Tree this morning and stocked up on ammunition. But we're going to have a heat wave. We're going to have a heat wave, baby. That's right. Everybody, get the hell out of the way. We're going to dive. We're going to pull off an HD dive. 3 to the corner. Right, get down, guys. It's ready. Get ready. Ready. 30, green, 36. Green, 36. Get ready. Set, 318. Set, get ready. Touchdown! Yeah! Hey, nobody punts better than this. Ladies and gentlemen, abracadoodle.
Well done, Beast. Well done. Nick, your thoughts?
Nope. I got nothing.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. No one is currently on hold. So if you want to call in, this is the best opportunity to do so. Weaver is King says that poor bed has been through enough. That poor bed is as strong as ever.
Nice and sturdy. That's all the way you want. That's all you want.
Gator writes in, will someone else please call into the show? We may lose Beast to the next Harry Potter video.
So he's not a Harry Potter fan?
No, he gets very upset because someone one time referenced a joke. Oh, Beast, did you go to Hogwarts? And he thought that was like the height of an insult when he could have just laughed it off and moved on. But now it's a thing.
Listen, I'm a Harry Potter fan. Love Harry Potter.
Me too.
I don't think there's anything offensive about that. It's a beautiful place.
Great question here from Zachary, who says, what is the biggest difference between Tanner Engstrand's offense and the last few years of offense?
Great question. One answer, all that needs to be told. Nathaniel Hackett. Because I was there the day Nathaniel Hackett, in his press conference, they asked him about Breece Hall. And he said, well, I'm really surprised because I didn't realize how good of a receiver Breece Hall was. Yeah. A guy out of Ohio State whose entire skill set was that he could run and catch. The OC, the play caller, didn't know that that was his skill set. So, quite frankly, that's the biggest difference. The offensive line's a lot better, but having an offensive coordinator that actually understands the skill set that he's working with changes the whole complexion. Tanner Engstrand, we don't know if he's going to be great. We don't know if he's even going to be good, but he understands what this offense is about, and he understands what the top players on this team are good at. That is the biggest difference.
Question that just came in from Chicken Jenkins. Nick, should Jets fans sacrifice little Joey for a Super Bowl?
They shouldn't sacrifice anyone. Wait, hold on. Which one's little Joey again?
That's Beast Pet Guinea Pig.
Listen, you do what you got to do. If you feel that that's enough to get to the Super Bowl, you do what you got to do.
Here's a reminder on who Lil Joey B.
If it gives you a Super Bowl, you do it. It's just that simple. I've already said it repeatedly. It's all about getting to the Super Bowl, plain and simple.
Gator writes in, Nick, can you turn on your ring light and move your cork board that you don't even use?
Well, I mean, I'm in my office. I can't move anything.
He's just messing with you because that's what I say to Beast with his mic.
That's sad. Come on, Gator, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. A man who is at war with Richie from Jets Media is on the line. We say hello to Jay Quest, who joins us now. Hello, Jay Quest.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, Jay Quest? You coming tomorrow, Jay Quest? We need you there.
I gotta work.
Come on, sneak in there.
No, I'll cut my dick off for a Super Bowl. All right, fuck the guinea pig. My question's for Nick. So every time we hear the press conference, we never hear the reporters. Like, why can't they have a mic and like pass it to reporters? Like, because it frustrates me when you're watching Glenn talk, we can't hear what you guys are asking. Like, what's the deal with that?
So they have it in hockey. I know they do it a lot in hockey where they'll have the mics and the mics will be transported to people over and over. I don't know. It's a great question, but I think because of the fact that press conferences are moving all over the place, particularly outside, it kind of makes things a little bit difficult because you just want to make sure that the mics are working for the coach. So it really just comes down to that. I think once you'll hear the reporters' questions when everyone's inside, it's just that they're not at this point.
No, like you could hear them when you're there, but we can't, obviously. Yeah, I was just curious. All right, cool. That's all I really had. Nick was on. I figured I'd ask. Thank you, guys. Later.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Quest with an excellent question. It is very annoying. I'm still laughing, by the way, at Glenn's first presser of the year. The Jets having so many tech issues with it. It was very funny in real time to be reacting to.
I mean, it happens. Like, this stuff happens. Technology is the bane of everyone's existence until it's not. And it's just one of the things you got to deal with sometimes.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you haven't already. It helps the channel grow. Reminder to join the Patreon for bonus content, access to our Discord, 20% off every merch item, your name added to the intro, and a whole lot more. Thank you to Jay, Ponce, and Ryle for being our most recent Patreon subscriber. NY Jets Man Cave, Thomas Bashaw, and Gary Miron for all signing up for the Patreon over the last week. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show to be able to engage with the extra content and that Discord and everything else you always hear me talking about. Tony writes in, what about Byron Cohort? Haven't heard much about him since his injury.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, because he's been recovering from that injury. He was always going to take a couple of weeks with the injury he was dealing with, and it's just a matter of making sure he gets back on the field at 100%. They're not going to rush these injuries. And again, this is kind of where you have to look and understand this is training camp. This is the preseason. This is not the be-all, end-all of what players and teams are going to look like once the regular season starts. You listen to any coach that has talked, and they will say the first 4 weeks of the NFL season have become glorified, sort of an expansion of just trying to figure out where you are in the regular season. It's not, the first month does not make or break your run as an NFL team. It's all about what happens in October and November that sort of separates the good teams from the bad. And that comes down to injuries as well. Do you want Byron Cowart healthy for week one if that means he's going to have this injury throughout the regular season? Or do you want him missing a couple weeks and then being 100% the entire way? The answer should be 100% the entire way.
Robert Lubinsky writes in, what is the lowest win total that Jet fans can endure this year and still feel good about the future of the team under new leadership?
So that's a good question. I don't think it's an exact win total. I just think it's the eye test. If they are in every game and there are one or two plays that are just missing, turning from a win to a loss, those are the things I think the fan base should be very excited about. The things that they look and say, okay, well, the quality of game is a lot better. Now we just need to learn how to win. Andy Reid's first year in Philly, people looked at it. He was taking over a 3-win team. It was one of the worst in the NFL. And he only won 5 games that first year. But you saw the quality of play improve. If Aaron Glenn gets the quality of play improving in New York, gets them playing a lot harder, has them more prepared, and they just look like a quality team where the offense is playing better, the defense is playing better, but they're still just not that quite there, I think that is room for the fan base to be a little bit more positive about the outlook of the future of this team.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Nick Faria, Jets reporter for Jet X. Are you excited to be back in the MetLife Stadium press box tomorrow?
I'm always excited. It's one of those things. The only places that I have struggled with in press boxes are hockey rinks, because there are some. Because I have an issue with heights. It's a big deal for me. Even just having a glass is always just kind of like an uncomfortable situation. I never sit in the nosebleeds of NFL stadiums. I'm always looking for the mezzanine levels. Hockey stadiums, you look at the Islanders, you look at the Devils particularly, I struggle to sit there because it's just right over the ice and you're kind of looking over. Not a good feeling. But with the NFL, there's a nice little glass thing. You're nice and comfy. The food is usually good. I always love NFL press booths more than anything else.
So you're excited to be back up there, sit down, and watch football.
Always love it. It's one of those things where you're going through life. You're like, oh, man, this sucks. But you know what? I get to cover an NFL game today. I get to cover a preseason game. It's a great feeling.
Tony says, Nick, do you think the Giants pass rush is better than your Eagles?
Yes, absolutely. And again, Philadelphia is probably going to be better than the Giants this year. It's an easy comment to make. But do the Eagles have an edge rusher like Abdul Carter? No way. No way.
Most teams in the league don't.
Yeah, exactly. Jalen Carter, I think, is as good as Dexter Lawrence is. But the Eagles just don't have the edge rushers that the Giants do. Kayvon Thibodeau would be an immediate starter on Philadelphia's line. Same thing with Brian Burns. Same thing with Abdul Carter. That's just the name of the game at this point. So, yes, I do think they have the best defensive line in the NFC East. I think they have the best defensive line in football. Does that mean that they're going to make the playoffs? Maybe, but that's still a big question mark. There's a lot of question marks for the Giants outside of this defensive line.
Weaver is King wants to know, Nick, if you could bring any Jets player in history onto the 2025 team, who would it be?
Ooh. I mean, probably has to be Namath, right? I mean, you think about it, you get the quarterback right, a guy who can throw the ball consistently and efficiently, could change the game a lot. And I think Namath in the modern NFL could do really, really well. I consider him kind of like that Baker Mayfield type with a big kind of arm, the big bravado, if you will, just perfect for New York City. I think Namath's probably one. I see a comment here from Kyle Altoon. Makes a lot of sense as well. There's a lot of different guys. If there is one, though, a non-quarterback, it's probably Mark Gastineau. If they had an edge rusher consistently who could get 20 sacks like he did, changes a lot of how this Jets defensive line is going to look.
I might say Klecko because he was a beast against the run, and that's a concern. Sure. Imagine Klecko and Quinnen with Jermaine and Will as your D-line.
But, Matt, so, again, you don't know what you're going to get from Jermaine Johnson. That's kind of why I'm like, that weakness is there. But you have Gastineau, Will McDonald, and Quinnen Williams. You pick either one, Klecko or Gastineau. That would make a whole lot of fun for that defense.
Yeah, the answer is Namath, but if you remove quarterback, you could make a case for just, hey, put Revis and Sauce on the same defense and watch what happens. Or, Gastineau, Klecko. You could argue receiver. They certainly need another receiver if you can't go quarterback there. But, yeah, I mean, it's a great question, Weaver. So well done with that one. That's an interesting conversation. This one's from Rick Kent. Nick, what's the lead story today in Riverdale?
Let's see. I've got to cover a couple of college soccer games today in Manhattan. We've got what's the other one? That's the big one. We're working on a package thief story, actually. We got an investigative piece coming up on some packages in the community that have been stolen, some checks, a lot of interesting things we're dealing with.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you haven't. Nick, I'm going to get you out of here with this. Will your Mets ever win another game?
Nope. No, and listen, you know what? I've come to the conclusion after what I saw. And by the way, Jake, thank you for the tickets. It was a great experience. We had a lot of fun. If I have to sit through another game where a pitching staff cannot throw a single strike, I'm not watching. I can't watch. How can you sit there for an entire inning and walk 5 batters and give up 9 runs? You would think the White Sox, other bad teams would do that. Not a team that's 8-9 games over 500. It's the most embarrassing performance I've ever seen from a pitching staff. There's nothing a manager can do in that situation. You cannot force your rotation to throw strikes. And quite frankly, it's unwatchable baseball right now. That's essentially what it is.
They suck. The Yankees suck. It's an unmitigated disaster for New York baseball right now. But don't worry. Surely the Jets and the Giants, who have a stout reputation of always delivering for us fans, they will be the ones to get New York City sports back on track. Right, Nick?
I will see. Yeah, surprises have happened. Turnarounds have happened before. But yeah, that doesn't look very good. And I'm only happy about one of those numbers.
Nick, thanks for your time as always. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and hopefully nobody gets hurt.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jake. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria, Jets reporter for JetX, jetsxfactory.com, joins us there in his weekly spot. We'll get right back to your calls and more of your super chats. Of course, another reminder, this giveaway is coming at the end of the show. It's a signed Hall of Fame signature by Kevin Mawai, one of the greatest centers ever, Jet legend, coming on the Gangrene Legends cruise with myself and the other Jet legends. Gift the membership or send in a super chat that qualifies $10 or more to be entered in the Asmaniac raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get back to your calls, I want to talk about ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, look, they're going to make it easy for you to hire the right person, because sometimes it's really hard to find the right person for the job you have open. You get flooded with resumes, but few have the exact skills or experience you're looking for. Not with ZipRecruiter. They make it easy to discover great candidates fast. And right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter's smart technology works for you. The moment you post the job, their matching system instantly begins showing you qualified candidates, so you're not wasting time sifting through the wrong resumes. And when you find people you like, you can connect the right way using ZipRecruiter's ready-to-send invite to apply message. It's a quick way to personally reach out and encourage them to apply sooner. Ditch the other hiring sites. Let ZipRecruiter help you find that needle in the haystack, that Asmaniac in the haystack. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter, they get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/audio. Again, ziprecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Jets super chatted us. Curly, one of my favorite underrated Jets. He was an awesome player for a while, very solid. Where they picked him to get the value they did is outstanding. And the Jets need a guy like Arian Smith to turn into a Jeremy Curley. They need a guy like Arian Smith to be the next Jericho Cotchery, Lavernius Coles. Non-first round picks that contribute on offense, especially skill players. We haven't had that in forever. It's part of the reason why this team has sucked beyond the quarterback and coaching issues. They need a number 2 wide receiver to emerge. I get it about Brees being a pass catcher. Mason Taylor looks good as a rookie at tight end. I understand it. They need more. Hopefully, Arian Smith can be that guy for this team. We have some controversy in the chat. What else is new? JD Surf City wrote in, Beast, when does your phony baloney persona end? Beastbreaker responds, JD Surf City, you're not in my league, pal. Go bleep a turkey and beat it, butthead. Ladies and gentlemen, fireworks in the chat. Shooter with a super chat. He's in the raffle for 2. What are your must-try food locations near MetLife? Only there for the weekend for game day versus the Steelers. You going, Jake. Heard crispy pizza was okay. Go Jets. Shooter, I'd recommend spots in the city, but I'm sure people in North Jersey could tell you some good spots near the stadium. I never really go to anything near the stadium besides the actual stadium when I go to games. But someone in the chat, I'm sure, or the comment section for those not watching after the fact, can comment some good spots near MetLife down below. But that's awesome that you're going to the Steelers game. Not looking like I'm going. For those who missed it, I made the announcement yesterday officially that I'm going to, actually, no, I'll give you a location, Cloverleaf Tavern, where we did our most recent meetup. Shout out to Chef Kevin. Cloverleaf Tavern, duh. Should have thought of that right away. Chat's all over it. Yeah, go to Chef Kevin's restaurant. That's where you should go, Shooter. The food is incredible. I'm not just saying that because we did our event there, because I tried everything and it was amazing. And anyone who was there could back it up. But as far as the week 1 game, the reason why I'm not going in all likelihood is starting week 1 through the remainder of the NFL season, me and Mike Tannenbaum are doing a weekly ESPN New York radio show together. I'll be hosting it with him from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Sunday during the season. So don't worry, I'm still going to Tampa and I'm still going to Carolina for our group buy game. But those might be the only 2 Jet games I go to this year, unless they're really good and I want to hustle over to MetLife late in the year to make a 1 o'clock game, because that's the problem. All the home games are 1 o'clocks. There's no night games at home. Both the Jet primetime games, unless they get flexed late in the year, are on the road. Miami and New England. So it's going to be tough. I get out the air at 12. Could I make it from Soho to MetLife by 1 for kickoff? Maybe, but it's going to be tight. And I don't know if I want to miss any of the game. Rather watch on TV, unless someone has a suite ticket. In that case, I'll watch from a suite. That's the only way. I'm going to be bougie. If not, I'll watch on TV. I'm fine with that. And the post-game show will start immediately after the game. Last year, I had radio shifts a lot of weeks, 4 to 8. So the Jet game would end. I'd be on radio till 8. I couldn't start this YouTube post-game show until like 8 o'clock at night, 8:30. So then I'd be on the air till like 11, and I wouldn't have any time to watch any football after being in pain from the Jets all day. So this is great because I'll get up early, do 4 hours of radio with Mike Tannenbaum, then watch the Jets, hopefully win, and then we'll do the post-game show right after every game, as we have been doing now for this will be our 5th season doing daily Jets content. Maybe they'll win this season. A winning record, perhaps. Big fella, super chat. Imagine John Abraham and Will McDonald. Holy bleep. I love John Abraham, but big fella, imagine Mark Gastineau or Joe Glecko with Will McDonald. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Rasta Dread is next. What's up, Rasta?
Pew, pew, pew. Abracadoodle. That's all I got.
Uh-oh. Rasta, thank you for the time. Beast, your response. Beast? Beast, are you there? Beast Breaker. Beast.
Give me 10 minutes. I'm making breakfast.
You're making breakfast?
Yeah, I'm starving.
What are you eating?
Man, I'm making my bagel with a cream cheese. Give me a sec, okay? Just get back to me like, give me el cinco minutos.
I need you right now.
You think I'm gonna let my bagel go to hell?
You can eat your bagel after we discuss the latest with the alliance you're putting together.
Yeah. I already got it in full swing.
Also, Beast, this was sent to me by a listener. Were you a model back in the day? I know you wrote that you're the sexiest man alive. So you were a model, right?
Do I look like Rick the Model Bartel? That guy was a model. That guy knew what he was doing.
Were you a model or no, though?
Not yet, but I am already planning to be one.
Have you thought about it? This was
Get the hell! Oh, you know what? In the words of Tony Smith, get the
Is this you?
Get out of here.
Is this a real photo?
Get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen. Abracadoodle.
I thought he looked good. Open phone lines. Let me do this. If you've already called in, you'll get a raffle ticket because we're light on entries anyway. So Rasta Dread, I'm giving you one. Kyle Clifton, I'm giving you one. If you call in, you get one raffle ticket because right now there is nobody on the line. And at the end of the show, we're giving away a signed Hall of Fame inscription Kevin Mawai jersey. Zach Asman writes in, Beast looking good, fella. David Aaron, bagel with Kyle Brandt. That's right. Shout out to Kyle for having me on the Good Morning Football program this week. Michael Duramo has gifted a membership. He's in the raffle for one. Let's see who got Michael's gifted membership here. If you hear your name called, Michael made you a channel member. It went to listener Francesco Picario. Let's see. Brett says, Beastbreaker, your bagel is burning. Wouldn't surprise me. Mackle says, is Isaiah Davis playing this weekend? Haven't heard anything since last Saturday. Well, I'm trying to remember. I think he did participate in the joint practice, right? Someone could check me on that. I think he did. So I'd imagine he would play. Pat McAfee's tank top. Beast did modeling back in the day. That's what I thought. I thought he looked good here. Nate says that he did not participate at the Jets home practice. But he might have been in the Giants one, though. I'm trying to remember if I saw any updates on that. Zachary says, are you sponsored by a betting site today? We're sponsored every day by a betting site, FanDuel Sportsbook. So, yes, the odds tomorrow are Jets plus 3.5 right now at FanDuel. I got to be honest, I like the Jets. I do think Aaron Glenn's going to have them playing hard. I'll take the 3.5 points. So, I like the Jets. Big fella writes in, how's little Joey training going for his fight with Boy Green? A great question, one that I don't know the answer to. Let me ask Beastbreaker for his thoughts. Beast, how's the prep going?
You just unleashed the one bad apple, buddy. You just made one big mistake. Me trusting in drag? What are you crazy?
Is this not you?
Get the hell out of here with that. Get the hell out of here with that.
Hey, what happened to your bagel?
It's right here in front of me.
Nice. Take a good bite out of it.
That's a fresh Hawaiian bagel. Hawaiian. Good stuff.
Hey, Nate says that you got a badunkadunk.
What the hell is a banaka?
What
is he talking about? What are you talking about, Nate? Hey, what did you come out of the toilet? What, did you take a head first into the toilet this morning? Get rid of that drag picture. Get rid of it. Burn it.
I don't think it's a drag picture. It's just you wearing a dress.
I'm sorry. I find that very offensive, and I find it very much bullshit. Don't bullshit.
Daniel says it's not you, Beast. The guy on the photo is skinnier.
Yeah, you know what that looks like? A Dylan Mulvaney on steroids.
Kyle Clifton wants to know, Beast, do the bubbles from the champagne tickle your butt?
Mr. Clifton, I don't drink. For two reasons. One, I'm a grandfather, and two, I don't have time for that anymore. Back in my heyday in high school and college, yeah, that was the fun. But them days are over. Those times are over with. Time to go forwards. Can't do that no more. It was fun in high school. It was fun in college. But times are changing. We're getting old. I don't have the heart for that anymore. No more. Drinking is overrated. In the words of Woody Johnson, I think drinking is highly overrated. Thank you.
So that was your issue with the comment, not the mention of the champagne tickling your butt?
I don't drink. I haven't drank in 3 years, which is good because I don't need it. It's not worth the effort. Plus, it ruins the heart and causes a lot of things in life.
Hey, big fella wants you to show off the wand he sent you.
And did you also know Scott Hall, a wrestler I knew, Scott Hall had the same problem. He had an alcohol problem. Same with Jake the Snake Roberts. They all had an alcohol problem. Why did I stop? It was time. It was time. I had my fun. That's over with. Time to be old. Time to grow old. Time to do what most old people do best. Play a game of bingo. Enjoy a game of life. And just at least be who you are. Okay.
Let's cover the email you sent me yesterday.
And plus, I have a family history. Yeah, I do because I have it right in here. I have a photo.
Yesterday, B sent me an email, and it said the following. You knew it was coming. Look, I tried to be nice and calm, but lately I feel disrespected, and that hurts. Now you're going to see a dangerous alliance. It's going to grow big. Look, I know my family history, so just don't go there. You don't know how hard my life was. It was rough, and yeah, I'm doing my best, but if you want to help me on my power bill, okay. But enough of the Harry Potter nonsense, okay, Jack? I'm very disrespected by the world because of my strength and wisdom and even integrity and desire to be the best. Okay, between me and my daughter, we hold 38 world belts because our family is 3 times tough with attitude and heart. Think about it. Jason Allen Storm, 1 BMF. P.S. Everything I say is true because I have done it all.
That's correct, buddy. You finally nailed it right on the head. It's like taking a nail and one of these.
Hey, what's the latest with your power bill?
It's due on the 29th of August. You want to help me? Fine. Okay, but enough.
What do you mean?
Enough.
I could wave my wand and have your power bill paid.
I'm only going to say this once. I got to worry about this. I remember being in the hospital back in June. I ain't going back again. It gets scary enough, Oh, it's scary enough. I don't like being in the hospital. Not my forte, not my kind of a place. Do what you need to do and be yourself.
And what'd you do with the pants that you sharded through, by the way?
I did not shit my pants. Whoever says that is one hell of a moron with an IQ no lower than Angel Soft toilet paper. Delicious.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Beast.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Abracadoodle.
All right, more of your calls coming up for anyone who calls in. We got a super chat here from Ryan who says, all-time Jets, what about Jason Ferguson on the interior D-line with Quinnen? He'd be a huge upgrade. Jason Ferguson, really good Jet. The question, Ryan, was originally, if you could take any all-time Jet and insert them on the 2025 Jets, who would you take? You would not pick Jason Ferguson over Klecko or Gastineau or some of the other elite edge or defensive tackles in history. If you give me 2008 Chris Jenkins, I think that might be a great answer too. He was so good for the Jets that year, and then unfortunately got hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason in Jerusalem has called in, and he's next on the show today. What's up, Jason? Uh-oh. The internet in the West is not great today. Jason, call back. We'll get you on. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation. Wayne Corbett's a great answer, by the way. Imagine Corbett lining up in the slot, him and Garrett Wilson. Purple Belt Mike says, your bill would have been paid with the scale. That's right, Beast. You were offered copious amounts of cash to get on the scale. Have you rethought it?
I'm not going to say this again. Let me be at peace.
Weave the Dweeb writes, in Beast, you're a clown. Get used to it. Your hair looks like a squirrel's tall. Also love you, Jake. Keep being you.
Hey, Weave the Dweeb. Did you look? You know what you look like? A first class dick bag with an IQ no lower than cheap toilet paper, jackass.
Boomtown, Pennington, or Marshall. Brandon Marshall on this team would be incredible.
Unreal.
Now, if you got on the scale, you would make enough money to cover your electric bill. Have you thought about it, Beast?
Boy, you know this is this is getting to be kind of a joke, isn't it?
Well, getting on the scale, you claim that you lost 70 pounds over 3 months. Why can't you get on a scale?
You know what? Maybe I should think about taking a vacation for a while. All
right, we'll see you in 5 minutes. All right, more of your... I'm having issues again. Very odd. I don't know. This is a new problem, man. We're using a different web browser, and every once in a while, if I play a video, it knocks me off my normal camera and puts me on my, MacBook generic camera. But I think we're good now. All right, back to your calls. Let's see if we could hear Jason this time. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Jake. Sitting by a pool out on the island. How you doing?
What's up, Jason? I'm glad that the Long Island visit is going well.
Yeah, went to Citi Field again. Man, Mets are brutal. 13 out of 15 lost. Every game a different way of losing. The only thing is they haven't done the Yankees like a fundamentals. But other than that, it's good that football season's coming our way.
Yes, the Jets and Giants are here to save us. Don't worry.
Yes, words that I never thought I'd say now, and I hope I still don't have to say.
It's been brutal, man.
All right, Jake, keep it up. I don't want to take too much time away from my kids here, sitting at a pool here, but Cannonball's not coming.
Enjoy, Jason. I love it. I'm glad you could call in on your trip. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Kent says, I got to run. Have a great weekend, everyone. Rick Kent, you have a great weekend. Ralphie says, Aaron Glenn would have been a great corner next to Sauce, but would he listen to himself as his head coach? Well, he's a Parcells guy. I think he would. That's a great answer. Obviously, you'd pick Revis before Glenn, but Glenn was an awesome corner in his heyday, too, as we know. This was just sent to me by a listener. I think Beast will like this one. He was upset with the last modeling one, but Beast, this is a man's man here. You tell me your thoughts.
Get the fuck out of here! Are you kidding me?
What?
Get the fuck out of here!
Gator made this for me. I feel like it was good. It represents you well.
That's pretty much. Hey, Gator, you asshole! I'm gonna rip your throat out.
Whoa. Why so hostile?
You think I'm some goddamn joke to you?
No.
Well,
think
you
you're-
basically just unleashed my I'm pissed off side today. Asshole.
Where's the alliance?
Asshole. Ladies and gentlemen. Abracadoodle.
Mike Dems joins the Asmaniac raffle for one. Hit the Jet chant. I'll tell you what, we don't have a lot of people in this raffle here, so I'm going to gift 5 memberships on my own. If you get a membership from me, I'm not putting myself in my own raffle, so you'll automatically be qualified here. Once again, sign Mawai jersey, and if you don't win that, Monday, Revis signed jersey, Mangold signed jersey, Mr. Third Down, Wayne Corbett, who had a birthday yesterday, signed Corbett helmet from him. Christopher says, does Beast understand that he doesn't have to stay on the line? Probably not. Kyle Clifton with some breaking news. Bobby Beasley is joining the Clifton Comrades. So we have Beast Deadly Alliance and the Clifton Comrades. Will writes in, Jake, any predictions on the score for the game on Saturday? Do you think the Jets are a lock on FanDuel? There's no such thing as a lock in the preseason or a lock in anything, Will. But I would lean with the Jets. I would bet them taking the 3.5 for a preseason game. I think they're going to play the starters longer than the Giants. I think the Jets looked good last week. I think they're well coached. I'm encouraged. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you haven't, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go into your settings now on that you want to be able to receive a gifted membership. There's 350 people watching live, so there's people who don't have memberships that are tuned in. I'm going to gift 5 channel memberships, and if you get one, you're entered in my raffle at the end of the show. All right? So everyone, let's count from 10, shall we? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Memberships are being gifted. Ladies and gentlemen, blast off. Okay, if you hear your name called, you're now in our raffle, and you are a channel member, baby. Following 5 people just received a gifted membership from yours truly. Johnny Greenballs. What a name. Who Dat Farm, Whitney Gilmore, AJ, and David Hoyt. They're all entered in the raffle at the end of this stream. We got memberships now that are flying off the shelves. I started a movement. Green Gang has just gifted 5 channel memberships. We're following 5 people, courtesy of Green Gang now, are gifted members. It's Snoopy, Oanana, Spraz, 16, The Ghost, 22, and Kendrick Lamar. And then one more, Wisconsin Jet fan just received a membership, courtesy of Ryan McCarthy. All right, open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation here. We got another gifted membership I'm seeing from Jess. Jess, thank you as always. Jess is due for a raffle win. I feel like it's coming today.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Jess, thank you. That's your 6th entry and counting so far in the show. Here's a question I have for the chat. Which player are you personally the most excited to watch tomorrow? Not who's got the most to gain or anything like that, but like you tune into this game tomorrow. Hopefully we're watching it together at our watch party at T Squared. Who are you personally the most excited to watch tomorrow? That's what I want to know. Jquest says, Jake, did you put me in the raffle? I did, Jquest, of course. Ant Banks says, tell me the Yankees won't be swept by the Cardinals. I can't tell you that because the Yankees are a mess. Yo Holmes says, Beast is right. He's no wizard, and he is not a woman. Well said, Yo Holmes. A lot of people saying Mason Taylor. Let's hope he plays. Boomtown, JJ, if he was playing. Yeah, he's not playing, though. Nick A says, how do you allow a channel membership? It's an option in your settings. Click on someone's name in the chat that gifted a membership where it comes up, and you'll see there's an option to turn that on. And that's the way to do it. Here, I'm going to actually put a link in the chat right now for you guys to see all the rules and how it works and stuff. Channel memberships are great because everyone gets a free super chat every month with that. You get a badge next to your name. You get members-only content. 25 says Membu. Anyone in the chat going to the game tomorrow? Obviously, we got people coming to my watch party in the chat. Anyone going to MetLife tomorrow? Dylan Terraman says, I'm most excited for Arian Smith. Deep ball will be complete this week. Let's go. And Malachi Moore on defense get some first-team reps. I'm looking forward to watching both guys too, Dylan. Well said. Getty says, how do you feel about the New York Jets football team? Lane, is that you? Weaver's King says, he is a wizard. How else do you not break that bed weighing that much? Well, I mean, he's lost 70 pounds over the last 3 months. Weaver is king. That's how. That is how it's done. Christopher says, it might be a cop-out, but I'm just excited to see Tanner Engstrand get into his bag. I know it will be vanilla, but so far what we've seen puts Hackett to shame. I'm glad you brought up Tanner Engstrand. What I want to play right now is something that I saw making the rounds on Jets Twitter. This is from someone I actually have had on my radio show and YouTube show in the past. Sean Syed. Now, Sean works for Suber Sports. I get a great film breakdown on what Tanner Engstrand is bringing with him from Detroit to the Jets, and we actually already saw it in the first game last week against the Packers. I think you guys will enjoy this.
With Aaron Glenn taking over in New York, Jets fans are going to start to see something that Lions fans love. Receivers blocking. New offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand showed 2 creative ways to do just that in week 1 of the preseason. On this run play, the receiver at the top of the screen is going to make it seem like he's running a full jet motion, but he's going to end up cutting his path off to try and wall off that defensive end. It ends up creating a nice cutback lane for the running back to get up the field and gain additional yardage on this play. Now, on this zone run to our left, the offense is going to have the tight end and the right tackle working a double team on this defensive end up to the next level. We're going to hope that our right guard can take care of this defensive tackle, where our center and left guard are working a double team on this defensive tackle up to this linebacker. We're also going to let our left tackle go ahead and release straight up to this linebacker. Now, this leaves the safety and the defensive end unaccounted for. We're going to be able to get a crack block from our receiver, but we got to figure out what we're going to do with this defensive end, because these defensive ends have seen these types of plays a lot. You will now see situations in the NFL where this defensive end will say, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and run straight down the line. Or on some play action plays, I'm just going to go ahead and run straight for the quarterback. You can't always rely on just your quarterback's keeper fake to deal with this guy. I think this is a creative way to deal with this defensive end where you're having this receiver make it look like he's running across the entire formation. You want to convince people to keep bumping over in that direction. And all you need here is just like a basketball box out. We just want to win that wall. It's not going to look pretty. It's not going to look like our left tackle blocking someone. It's I think a hard thing to do, but look at what it's going to create. We're going to have our left tackle have great leverage on this linebacker. We're going to open up this whole entire lane because we just need body presence to be able to wall off the right side of our screen. That's exactly what the receiver is able to do. Again, no one's putting this block on a highlight reel, but we are going to put this run on a highlight reel because look at the lane that it creates. The running back's able to have good vision, go ahead and get up the field, and that's because the receiver is now involved in the blocking. Now, everyone wants their running game and play action to look kind of alike, and you want to do that because you want the defense to have no tell of what you're going to do. On this design, we're going to have our center and our left guard pulling out on a play action play that we want to make look like a run to the top of the screen. Now, we can't just have our right tackle go ahead and take a nice little pass set for this defensive end. He's going to have to work in that same direction. So who is that going to leave? Once again, our defensive end. And you might be able to guess based on this, who's going to be the person that we're asking to block him. It is our receiver. And all we need this receiver to do is sort of a little bit of a pin because the design of this play is we're going to fake that run to the top of the screen. Our quarterback is going to boot out, and we're going to create a movement type play that is hopefully able to take advantage of the defense. Now, this isn't Justin Fields, but I do want you to imagine this with Justin Fields, where you're going to have a receiver blocking a defensive end, not the matchup that you would think of on paper, but you just have to give the quarterback a little bit of room to be able to create that loop. As we see it, just want you to focus on this block here. The receiver is able to do that. Get the defensive end to hesitate. You're not going to end up in the Hall of Fame for this block. This is not going on anyone's highlight reel, but it's going to give the quarterback enough space to continue out into the open area to find a wide open receiver. I think that you're going to be able to do that with Justin Fields. I think you're going to be able to see receivers for the Jets continue to be a positive in the run game, in the pass game, in the play action game as blockers, and I'm excited to look forward to it the rest of the season.
Good breakdown there from Sean Syed over at Sumer Sports. Hey, quick reminder, we've had these shirts available for not even a full week, and people have loved them. So if you want a G5 shirt ahead of the upcoming Jets season, jakeasman.com/shop. You'll see it there. Plus, we have a Coach Aaron Glenn shirt available, Coach AG. All that and more. Hoodies, bucket hats, shorts, T-shirts, coffee mugs, koozies, Gorman-inspired tank tops. You name it, we have it. Flags, pennants, jakeasman.com/shop. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now, shall we? Nate on the bike joins us now. Hello, Nate.
What's going on, Jake? Can you hear me?
We hear you, Nate.
All right, how many raffle tickets do I need to have 50% of entries today? No, I'm just playing.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is a light day, so
I know. I was watching. I was like, I could go hustle and go get another jersey.
You really could.
For tomorrow's game, yeah, I don't know why people are more excited calling it week 2 of the preseason here. Obviously, I'm going to watch Tigers, as always. It's kind of the obvious answer, but I'm going to be interested in seeing guys that are probably going to be on the field and impacting us this year. I don't know who our swing tackle is. That Okorafor guy, rated out as one of the worst players last week and looked pretty terrible. We all know about Max Mitchell. I think if our offensive line is a strength, but we all know from 2 years ago what can happen if one guy goes down, and especially if Max Mitchell's the guy that comes in. I'm having I keep comparing this to 2009, and I'm having Wayne Hunter nightmares of someone going down and then Wayne Hunter in the lineup every week, just constantly Sanchez getting stacked over and over. So they are looking at second string offensive line, and then also it seems like nobody knows what's going on with the wideouts, but anyone who makes the team seems like you're going to be on the field. If Corley makes the team, it's not because of his special teams prowess, right? He's going to be some type of gadget guy on offense. Arian Smith too. I mean, he's going to be on the team, but John, I just want to see all the wide receivers and who's going to step. I mean, people have talked about Pritchett and whatnot. But the other big name I'm going to watch, and it's not a player, is Tanner Engstrand. Last week, that was the guy I was probably most impressive out of players, coaches. We all loved AG ripping everyone, but for Adrian Martinez, Connor Cook, all of our quarterbacks led scoring drives, which is amazing. Our quarterback went 20 of 28, and I get it. Everyone in the chat, I'm saying, Jake, the preseason game. That's why I'm excited for week 2. Can our quarterbacks go 20 for 28 again? Probably not. It's a much better pass rush. Anyone who went to practice saw their D line is really, really, really good, and their O line is good. The Giants line is solid. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. Tanner Engstrand, and then who's going to step up as that swing tackle? Because we all know there's essentially impossible to go through the season with only 5 offensive linemen.
Totally agree. That's why having depth, and I think they do have better depth this year than they've had in the past. That's why I think it's important.
But if Okorafor sucks, do they?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't love that signing when they initially made it, but I guess as a backup, they think he's fine because he started a lot in the league. Engstrand, I think, did really impressive things last week. We just showed you on the film review there, 2 of them. I was encouraged. And I think other than Fields, he's the biggest X factor for this team to be better than we think, because if he's really good and designs a good scheme for the running game and play action and maximizes some of the things we know that Fields does do well, they could be a pretty decent team. I don't think it's crazy to think.
For sure. And Fields did it. He's not the most accurate quarterback, but last year in Pittsburgh, I mean, I know they ran a very red light, green light, 1-2-3 offense, but he didn't turn the ball over at all. You know, he didn't throw for 300 yards a game, but they were winning games because he didn't turn the ball over. And obviously, we think we have a really, really good offensive line. If we're going to have a good run game. Like you said, if the offensive coordinator works out, we might be in for a nice surprise.
And what a beautiful day it is, too, by the way, Nate.
It is gorgeous. I always think whenever someone mentioned Max Mitchell, who unfortunately is probably going to be on the team, I think of that caller you had who said he like sat next to Max Mitchell's dad in like Texas for a game or something. Like they were like at the bar, and Max Mitchell's dad admitted that he sucks. And ever since then, I've really hated Max Mitchell. I don't know if you remember that call.
I don't even remember that. That's hilarious.
Someone said they called him, like, yeah, next to Max Mitchell's dad, and yeah, he kind of said he's not even that great, and he's been struggling a lot this year or something like that. Like, all right, if his dad's out, I'm out.
Yeah, look, Carter Warren and Max Mitchell, I hope that there's better options to beat them out on this team.
I agree. And I'm on my way downtown. I don't know how soon you're ending that stream. I'll meet you in the lobby for the jersey. Just kidding.
Yeah, let me know, all right?
There's a chance I make it tomorrow. I'm still up in the air about whether I'm going to the game or not. But
yeah.
I really want to.
I need everyone to bully Nate. So Nate, I texted Nate because he obviously won the Jermaine jersey for his heroics on the bike the other day. For those who saw that show, and I said, hey, like I'll just bring it to the watch party tomorrow if you're coming. He goes, I might go to the game. I'm like, you're dead to me if you don't come to the watch party, Nate. So everyone bully Nate to come into our watch.
I gotta
party.
have the Qantas Stiggers binoculars are gonna be out tomorrow. So there's only so many opportunities I get to watch 30 plus stats of Qantas Stiggers. I'm hoping for health obviously this year, but. It's up in the air. We'll see. Tickets aren't the worst, but I'll let you know regardless.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate on the bike. Excellent call by Nate there. Good job by him. And the chat wants you there, Nate. They want Nate at T Squared. Kyle Clifton wants 5 entries in the raffle. He sent in a $20 super chat. Watch Malachi Moore on defense and Donovan Edwards on the offense. Can Moore be the starter, and can the Michigan man make the squad? I'm actually more optimistic about Donovan Edwards making the team than I think Faria was, because I think if they think Donovan Edwards could give you something on special teams as a punt returner, right, or kick returner, he's looked really good as a runner. And you're a team that wants to run the ball. Injuries happen at running back more than any other position. Like, there's a role for Donovan Edwards. Someone's going to get hurt and need to be on PUP to start the year. Find a roster spot for him if he deserves it. I know Kene Nagwanu has the special teams prowess, but I don't know that's enough where I'm just going to keep him because he's so good at kick returns. I don't know, I'm encouraged by Donovan Edwards. He's looked healthy and he's looked really good. So if he shows out again, you might have to consider a spot. As far as Malachi Moore, I was upset when I was at training camp for the green and white scrimmage. He was hurt at that time, so I didn't get a chance to watch him in person. I was looking forward to watching him. So we'll see him hopefully tomorrow. Right, we'll see what he looks like. And when we saw him last week, and they kind of lined him up at both safety and nickel, right? He honestly might be the backup right now to Michael Carter. So I'm excited. Hey, everyone show some love to #1 Austrian Jet fan for supporting the show. And wait till you guys see the shirt that Austrian Jet fan sent me. I'll be rocking it on the show in the near future. But he's a longtime supporter. We got Jet fans everywhere in this world. And he's the #1 Austrian Jet fan checking in with a 5 spot of channel memberships. Oh, yeah.
Money, 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 money.
If you hear your name called, the Austrian Jet fan made you a channel member. Christopher Wheeler, Capo, Mikey Man, Turn Up the Jets, and JK. Also, I want to shout out Brett, who earlier in the show, a couple minutes ago, he signed up to become a member all on his own. So he's an Asmaniac now, and he entered himself in the raffle for 1. Turd Ferguson's in the house. Oh, baby, a 5 spot of channel memberships from Turd.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Turd, thank you very much for your contributions. The following 5 are members from Turd. Jets Forever, who was at our meetup in Jersey a few weeks ago. Dom C getting a membership. Chris NJ75, Jay Savage, and Joel Mercado all receiving memberships there from the Turd Ferguson. We need more cowbell, baby. Let's see. Gotta add Austrian Jet fans entries in here. Okay. Open phone lines. Last chance to get in here. We're about 90 minutes into the show. We're going to be back in the afternoon, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back in the 4 p.m. hour today. Matt O'Leary is going to join me for a special game day show tomorrow morning. It's going to be a wild time. So Kyle Clifton brought up Malachi Moore, and he brought up Donovan Edwards. Those are two good ones. Who else are you guys most intrigued by tomorrow? Excited to see. Uno Jet says, Jake, you the man. Let's go, Jets. Uno's been on a roll in these raffles. What jersey did you win, Uno? You won a Garrett jersey or a Fields jersey? I know that arrived. And then you won the G5 shirt the other day. So congrats, Uno, and good luck in today's raffle. We have done so many raffles. I used to be able to, like, off the top of my head, like, oh, so-and-so won that. I don't even know anymore because we do one every show. That's how amazing this community is. Turd says, isn't Jets Forever the Mims guy? No, not to be confused with the Mims guy. Mims guy's long gone. Jets Forever is an elder statesman Jet fan. He's seen it all. Zachary says, I want to see if Jade Tafili can keep his hot streak going. Is Jade Tafili the next great Jet? Or is he, Tack McKinley, who was good last summer that we never heard from him in the regular season? Envelette says Rashad Weaver. Rashad Weaver was great in minicamp. Remember that? And then you see what happens when the pads come on, and I feel like we haven't heard his name once all summer. He's got a great pass rushing number that Will McDonald didn't want. He's rocking the 99 now, but I feel like I haven't heard anything about Rashad Weaver. Cody says, Donovan Edwards, the Don, no question, a champion, a stud, a future All-Pro. I don't know about that, but I hope you're right. And if you are right, hopefully he's doing that for the Jets and not someone else. We don't want a Danny Woodhead situation. Jetaholic in the house. Don't forget us as maniacs when you get even bigger. LOL, congrats on the ESPN football job. Just please don't ever stop doing the Jet show. Jetaholic, thank you. This show is going nowhere, people. Even if I ever, had a daily Monday through Friday set time slot, it might be adjusted. We might not do 4 hours a day in June when there's nothing happening, or July, but there's always going to be this show. Because this is the future, man. This fan base is the best. And I love having full ownership of what I do here. It's great. Haven't had a full-time radio job in officially now 2 years. It was the best thing that ever happened. Get to work for ESPN and Mad Dog part-time, and we do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned that we have fans all over the world that love the Jets and are as maniacs, like Daniel in Mexico, who's next on the show. What's up, Daniel?
Hello, Jake. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Do you hear me?
I hear you, Daniel, but there's a big delay. So I'm going to lay out, allow you to make your point, and then I'll respond.
Okay. I'm just want to say that I am excited to see Eric Watts and Rashard Weaver, the edge second stringers, I think, because we lack in this position. So if Jermaine or McDonald's get hurt, we really need a good backup edge so we can have a good defense. And also, I expect the Jets to win 17-3. I think our defense will close the Giants' offense. And I'm excited to see also Adrian Martinez, who has been balling out. He has a great pass accuracy. And that's it, man. I love you all. And have a good one from Mexico.
Daniel, you're the man. Great call. 17-3, Jets win. I'll take it. Hopefully they score more points than that, but that'll be a great showing by the defense. Eric Watts is interesting, right? I actually saw someone that was at the joint practice that watched specifically the Jet defense against the Giant offense, who highlighted Eric Watts as someone that played well. So let's see. Ralphie says B should talk his Spanglish to Daniel. Ralphie rocks with the super chat. Ralphie, you're coming tomorrow? I think you said you are. He's in the raffle for 2. Interested in linebacker Francis Mawagawa from the U. We need a good middle linebacker. I haven't heard much about him all summer, I feel like. Frank L with a super chat. He says, been watching for almost 3 years now. I'm going to the game in Tampa. Super stoked. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Let's go, Jets. Awesome, Frank. Hopefully you'll be at our events that weekend. I'm excited to be down there. And I'll get a chance to meet you in person. I have never been to Tampa, I don't think. So this will be my first time, but I'm looking forward to it. I've always wanted to go for a Yankee spring training. It hasn't worked out. But Jets Bucks, we got our Saturday party the day before at Gaspar's Patio Bar and Grill from 5 to 8. I think it's actually 4, but we'll talk more about that when we get closer. We got our tailgate at the stadium. You can scan that QR code now, Jet fans, and get tickets to our tailgate. Teamed up with the Tampa Jets crew, Jet Fan Club. It's going to be an awesome time. Right next to the stadium, 10 to 1 before kickoff. And then here's the info about the happy hour. We have the entire Bourbon Room Bar at Gaspar's Patio Bar and Grill. Ralphie says, I'm going to wear my Beck jersey I won on the show. Love that. Kyle Clifton is picking against the Jets. I think a squeaker. Giants edge Jets 23-20. I'll be devastated, Kyle. And by devastated, I won't be. Rasta Dread, see you in Tampa. Can't wait, Rasta. Jedaholic says, just a suggestion someone else does. You could read read 5-star reviews as an incentive for people to leave a great review on the All right. I love this idea. If you leave a 5-star review with a great comment, we'll read it on the show. We'll do it every week. I love that idea. Yeah, people, audio form of the show, Apple, Spotify, leave a review. If it's great, I'll read it on the air. Make it as funny as you want. Hell yeah. A lot of people have been finding us through podcasts, which is great. We've gotten some of our regulars through podcasting. I know Thunderlips originally discovered us as an audio show. I was like, wait a second, this is a YouTube program? I think a lot of people are aware that YouTube is like the future, the now, to get like info on the team you care about. Like, I love sports radio. I'm an ESPN New York and Mad Dog radio host on Sirius. But you tune in, they might not be talking about your team. If you want the latest info on your exact team, like you want to go in depth, deep dive, die hard, like that's this. Bob writes in, I live in the southwest area of Florida. I'm considering coming to the Tampa game with the wife. You should. Look, Bob, the worst the Jets could be going into that game is 0-2. You know? So the season is still very relevant on September 21st. And it's my birthday weekend, so they better win. Dan King gets in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Wow, he says, need to get in on the raffle for the first time. I'm excited to see if Arian Smith gets some more time with the starters. Seems like the door is wide open for him to be wide receiver 2 if he keeps playing well. I don't know if he's going to start as wide receiver 2, to your point, but there's definitely a way for him to be on the field a lot and have a real role in this team. So I am definitely looking to see him go out there and show us something. 100%. There's something to that without a doubt. Without a doubt. Dan King, thank you for watching the show and supporting the show. Appreciate it, man. The super chats and memberships drive up the revenue that makes it all possible. So you guys are great. Appreciate that. YouTube in the summer is especially slow with like the ad revenue you get. It's going to pick up in the fall, but you guys are the best for continuing to tune in and support and care about this team and this community. By the way, get ready for next week. We're going to have some amazing content on the show. By now, you've heard me talk about our trip to Circa. Contest weekend next week. All right, less than a week. I'm flying out Wednesday morning for Ultimate Contest weekend. We'll do our show from the Radio Row at Circa with a bunch of awesome guests that will join us on Thursday and Friday. I know a bunch of Asmaniacs that are actually going to be out there, which is so cool. People are going to be signing up for both the Circa Million and the Circa Survivor contest. $21 million in prize money. So I think next week's going to be a great week on the show. Ryan McCarthy. He just gifted 5 channel memberships. He's playing to win what, Coach Herm?
Hello? You play to win the game.
He's playing to win a signed Hall of Fame signature Kevin Mawai jersey. Ryan, good luck. Appreciate you. Good question I saw from Bonesy, the champ. Bonesy will be at the venue tomorrow. Bonesy, lock in your ticket, by the way, my friend. I missed Brady Cook update. Is he good to go to play tomorrow? He practiced on Wednesday, Bones, so I think so. Obviously, the injury was described like it was, Achilles-like. It was looking like he went down and grabbed his ankle, and you're thinking, uh-oh. But now he obviously is okay because he practiced. So I think he'll be out there with Martinez after Fields tomorrow. Uno Jets in the house. He writes in, Jake, if the Jets go 2-0, I'll go to the Tampa game. What if they're 1-1, Uno? They have to be 2-0? Like, I think we'd all sign for 1-1 going into that game, no? Say they win week 1 against Rodgers, lose to the Bills. Like, you wouldn't sign for that? I'd sign for 1-1. I'd pay a lot of money to be 1-1. Kyle Clifton, are we sure Bonesy knows the way there? Yeah, it's so far from anywhere he's ever been. I don't know. Frank L says there's a lot of us in Tampa. It will feel like a home game. There's a ton. I mean, the Jet fan club group of Tampa has like 2,500 members on just Facebook, which is wild. So they've been a huge help. Shout out to Festa and the whole team there. They've been great to work with. So it's going to be an awesome time. JJ, early part of the schedule is tough. It is. That's why they got to get through it and be in survival mode and then hopefully get to the bye in the mix. And then the well-coached teams get better as the year goes on. PBM says, I donate a paycheck for a win versus the Steelers. I get it. That game means a lot. Means a lot. Ryan says, I was hoping one of those memberships I gifted went to Daniel Beware. He was a great caller, and now he's in the chat. The one thing I wish YouTube would let me do is be able to, like, when the host of the channel is spending money to gift memberships, like, shouldn't I be allowed to pick who gets it? I don't know. Just a thought. Because, yeah, 100%. Like, Daniel deserves a membership. Bob with an Asmaniac super chat. He's been a channel member for 5 months. This community is the best. I've received a membership for 5 straight months to this channel. Love that. JJ, I want to see Mason Taylor. I think he will play tomorrow. I have no reason to think he won't. I understand that he's coming off the ankle thing, but he played in the joint practices, so that would lend to believe that he's healthy to play in a game. He needs the reps. I want him out there. He's looked good, but let's let him get the first game in the NFL, the jitters out of the way. JD says, PBM, I donate little Joey. Wow. Beast is not going to like that one. Now, Beast is not currently on hold right now, so I think the relationship between Beast and the community is currently fractured. So we'll find out what happens this afternoon. Will he make his return? Will writes, and I heard Bonesy was behind the 7-Eleven with Beast doing spells for a winning Jets record. Bonesy, is this true? Turd Ferguson says Justin Fields might need to eat Joey himself for it to work correctly. Jedaholic writes in, I feel like Brandon will have more rushing yards than Brees, but Brees will get a lot of volume in the passing game. Brees will be used a lot as a receiver. I've been saying this for months. Bonesy says I can neither confirm or deny. Norm writes in, what are the chances that number 40 has another outstanding game and makes the team? I don't think it's impossible that he makes the team. I think there's a path to it, especially if the Jets want to use him as a punt returner. He shows he could do that because he didn't do that in college at Michigan. Like, people got to remember, Donovan Edwards was amazing in college. He had an injury, and then he wasn't as good after the injury, but, like, maybe he's healthy now. Like, he was definitely a top 3-round pick in college before his injury. He had, like, a year at Michigan where he averaged, like, 9 yards a carry. Ralphie says Jets' first 3 games are versus 2024 playoff teams. Not an easy start. Gets better later. That's why I think you'd have to sign for 1 and 2. Avoid 0 and 3. I'd love 2 and 1. And I'd love 1 and 1 going to Tampa. Can you be 2 and 2 after the first 4 weeks? That's what I would love. Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Nate is called back in. Hello, Nate.
I had one more question as you were like talking more about the roster, right? How many receivers do we usually keep going on like on a 53? 6, 7?
Every team is different. I think the Jets last year kept. I don't know actually if it was 6 or 7. I think they're gonna keep 6 this year though.
All right. Well, my point is this crazy, right? Say we don't love that the Pritchett or Corley or whoever that like 6th receiver is, right? And we have Beck, who's already a fullback, listed as a fullback, right? But he's going to be a tight end, wingback, whatever. He's going to be in the backfield a lot. He's going to be a tight end. He could be a pass catcher too. And then we've got Brees, who everyone thinks best talent is that he's a receiver, right? And AG keeps saying how we're going to use him, even possibly split out sometimes. Like he's going to be used not just as a running back, right? Is it crazy? And everyone is talking about Donovan Edwards. So if Donovan Edwards has another great second preseason game, is it crazy we just keep our 5 not stud receivers, but whatever, our 5 locks that we think are going to have an impact on the field, knowing that if someone goes down, we'll grab another guy off waiver, like we don't fall in love with any receivers, and keep 4 running backs because of that, and keep Donovan, or God forbid, I'm not going to say 5 running backs in 2025, but you know what I'm saying? Like people are worried about whether we're going to keep Donovan Edwards. Could we just possibly keep our 5 top wide receivers again, and then knowing that we have Beck and Brees that are like those hybrid guys that are going to get a lot of receptions? You know, why keep a 6 wide receiver if we don't really value him just to have a 6 wide receiver? Or am I wrong?
No, I think that's possible. It's really tough because like I don't know what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji's like philosophy is because we've never seen them in this spot. But that to me makes sense. Like you could probably sneak some of these guys on the practice squad too.
Yeah, that was my only point. If we don't love any of the wide receivers and we think Donovan Edwards is obviously going to go to a practice squad, I just feel like that fullback role is obviously something we didn't have last year, and Jack seems like he's going to be a part of the offense. So yeah, that was my only last thought.
A great comment I want to read to you, Nate, from Ralphie. He wrote, Nate never seems to have a destination.
Well, people don't know what I do for work, do they? I usually have like 11 destinations throughout the day that I have to stop at for my production job. That's why I always usually have lots of permits or handy things for there. So I'm usually on my bike for work all the time, which is a blast. Go ahead, bro. I'm not going anywhere.
Ricky wants to know, what are you wearing?
Oh, right. Shout out to, I'm not wearing your shirt, Ricky. Actually, no, I could go pick it up right now. It's in my lobby. I could go all my way to pick it up. Shout out to Ricky who sent me his famous Smoke and Debate shirt, which I am not rocking right now. I'm just wearing a regular button up Ricky. I apologize. Next time I call in to the Ricky New York show, I will be rocking my Smoke and Debate shirt. Shout out to Ricky for sending that to me. He shipped it to on the package. It says Nate parentheses Nate. So shout out to him or Nate. Maybe not. And in my head it says parentheses, but he shipped it to Nate. I guess he doesn't know my last name.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate parentheses Nate. Nate, great calls today. Both of them.
Oh yeah, football shows, baby. We love them back.
We're back. That's right. There's the most football talk. We're done. Ladies and gentlemen, one last call, and then we'll do the raffle. So if you want a chance to win a signed Kevin Mawai jersey, it's a last call. AD83 is the closer today. What's up, AD? Unmute your mic, AD.
That good?
Yes, sir.
How you doing today, Jake?
What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Not much. Getting the day started here. I wanted to call in real quick, see if I can get a chance at a jersey, though.
Hey, you're in the raffle now with that call. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, besides that, I think there's 3 things I want to see tomorrow. Basically, Jay Tufele, Donald Jr. I want to see him go off a little bit more, see what he can do. I want to see a connection between Garrett and Justin. Got to see that. Something beyond like 10 yards. And the final thing I want to see is I want to see more of Donovan. What is his name?
Donovan Edwards.
Yeah, I want to see more of that kid. That kid looks dynamic. So he's got to make the team somewhere, practice squad, something. That's it for me for now.
AD, great call, man. Appreciate you making it. Yeah, great point. I talked about this yesterday. I really would love to see a big completion to Fields and Garrett. Their timing's been a little off this summer. It has been. Would like to see them get that rolling. Now, the first game, I mean, they had one drive and Fields did what he should. Take the checkdowns, don't force it. See if they open it up a little more tomorrow. Take a shot downfield. Let's see. Get Garrett going early. First play of the game. Run a play action. And get Garrett a chance. I wouldn't mind that. Les Komar with a super chat. As Maniac super chat. At least we know one New York sports team will win on Saturday. Unless they tie. They don't play overtime in the preseason, so they could tie. ODF says, I want to see AZ Thomas. He was injured. Yeah, I'm excited to see him and Mason Taylor. Second and third round picks making potentially their preseason debuts with the Jets tomorrow. Jayquest says, personally, I think people want to keep Edwards because they're afraid he'll go to a different team and excel. He won't see an offensive snap if the other three are healthy. Yeah, but that's a big if, though, right? The other three. Brees has had his fair share of injuries, and running backs in general get hurt, right? It's the nature of the position. You take the most hits. So if you can find a spot for him, if he's earned a spot, I'm in. Jetaholic, where's the Lane train been? I don't know. Lane calls in like spurts. We could go weeks without him, and then we get like 2 straight weeks of him. Frank L says, can't wait till my computer turns on so I could give a sub. You better go quick, Frank. I got all the names ready. I'm ready to roll, but I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you, Frank. Kyle Clifton says, Garrett, Reynolds, Arian Smith, Pritchard, and Lazard, Smith, and Skinner to the practice squad. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's not. I think that's probably it, Kyle. I think I agree with you. I don't think Xavier Gibson's making this team. JJ says, how many Steelers fans will be at opening day? It would have been opening night if Rodgers signed quicker. Week 1, 1 o'clock. Can't let them take over. I don't think they'll take over the stadium. I don't think Jet fans are selling their tickets to this one. Frank L., a man of his word. He gifted a membership at the buzzer. Bang! Frank L., everyone. In the raffle. He did it. All right. You guys are ready for the raffle. We got a signed Kevin Mawai jersey to give away. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now stop what we're doing and let's get ready for a wheel to be spun. A wheel known around here as the Wheel of Champions. Are we ready? The raffle is right now.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
The wheel is officially on the screen. The dramatic raffle music is officially playing. Good luck to everyone. Of course, if you win, you have to email me your name and address so I know where to send the signed jersey to. And if you don't win, don't worry, because on Monday, you got a chance to win our 3 weekly prizes. Thanks to everyone who makes it possible to do this, because without the memberships and super chats, we wouldn't be able to do this many signed giveaways and jersey giveaways. It ain't cheap, but that's because you guys support the show and we can keep it going. All right, here we go. Good luck to everyone who entered. There can only be one winner today, and that winner is Kyle Clifton. Ladies and gentlemen, sing along. Will Kyle Clifton wear his signed Kevin Mawai jersey inside or outside in a future call? Clifton, your winner. Congrats to Kyle. Well-deserved. A true Asmaniac and a fantastic, fantastic regular caller. Okay, that does it. Please buy your watch party ticket if you haven't. The price goes up later today. They didn't tell me what time. So right now it's still $18 if you're watching live. So lock in your spot. It increases by $5 tomorrow, and you can't buy it at the door. So that is one of your last reminders to lock in your spot if you haven't done so already. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait to be partying with so many of you on the show tomorrow. With that said, I'm going to end today's show with a clip that I think will inspire the masses. Ladies and gentlemen, take a step back and enjoy the soothing voice of the Lane Train. Go Jets, and we'll talk to you in the 4 p.m. Eastern time hour.
25.
In the year of 25.
25.
Is he ever gonna stay alive?
25.
My mother wants to know who I'm talking to. I'm on StreamYard, Mom. I'm on YouTube.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
Charles, you're the best, dude. I can't. Mom, the meatloaf.
The meatloaf!
Mom, meatloaf.
Hey, Jameis, would you come to the Jets? They might need a quarterback. Yeah. Jets. Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, our exclusive interview with now friend of the show, Jameis Winston.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.